Tuesday, and this is Trekland HQ version 2, and we are live today. Guest Martin Roth, CEO of CherryTree, and all of their 60th Star Trek anniversary goodies. Today on, episode 443. Can you believe it? Of Trekland Tuesdays live with me, Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek, coming at you here from the heart of Trekland for some sanity, clarity, and a bigger picture in all things Star Trek. I know, right from the heart of TreklandTreks.com, your one-day day tour of Star Trek film sites, your own custom away mission right here in Southern California. And most of all, this year, for the 60th, don't forget about, Exploring Trek Sites Hollywood STLV. It's the multi-day, 5-day, week before Trek Vegas. Don't have to go to the convention, but that's where we wind up. With Armin and Tim and Sirach and Bobby and more to be announced as our guests. We go to actual Star Trek film locations. You're in a group, no more than 20 folks. Hey, here's the thing. We need 6 to make our minimum by the end of the month. If you are thinking about just having a blowout for the 60 in a very unique way, what kind of experience can you do? Go party on the cruise. Go party at Vegas. But there's nothing like going to the actual places where your iconic Star Trek moments happened. Get in touch with us. It's geeknationtours.com, my buddy Terrace. Or you can find it at larrynemechek.com too. That's what's going on this summer. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another TTL. Can't wait to get into it. We've got a guest today. Yay. But guess what? We've got a guest today. And once again, I'm going to start with an unboxing. Yes. Hey, if you're new to Trekland Tuesdays, hang on. The chat is there. Get to know everybody in the chat. We've got folks from all over the world at this time of day. We've got a great TTL community. We'll be into the chat. We'll have a guest today, so we'll be diving in and out of the chat rather than the days when I'm just doing a topic. All right. But remember, if you are on Facebook, you're only going to see the Facebook comments. If you are on YouTube, thank you very much. You're adding to our metrics, and you're going to see all the comments from everyone. All right. And hey, if you're watching this later, not live, that's awesome. Maybe you can join us live some Tuesday here at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. Hey, that's only 9 o'clock UK time. Yes, and 10 o'clock Central Europe. So I love doing this time of day because we've got folks from around the world. Hang on. My guest today, Martin Roth, is going to be with us in just a second, but I want to see what his company does. Yes, we've got an unboxing today. I'm very, very excited about this. You know, it's the 60th, and a lot of people are having special new merch. People are just having a good time. This is, wow. Okay, one stubborn flap. There we go. What's in the box? There's 2. This is so cool. Now, talk about blue screen. Can you see through the plastic? Yeah, that's the marking of the, that is, why don't I do this? What's an unboxing without a real unplasticking? Wow. I'm going to unwrap these in a minute. There's a 1701, an original, no A, B, C, or D. And what's here? Oh, can I unwrap this one? Yes, I can. This has got the brown paper. Any guesses? Any guesses what we've got here? As soon as look at that underbelly. Look at the opposite of dorsal. Well, you can tell, right? No, you can't. This is funny. Here's the side the paper's on. Oh, no. That's there. Well, I'm going to leave it on for now. You can tell the Voyager, especially if I turn it right side up. Now, this is clear, just like the Enterprise is clear, because when you set it up, with the base and the light, you get a lit up blue glow favorite ship. There's also, well, all the hero ships are in this batch. This is cool because the original Enterprise is my original Star Trek, and Voyager is kind of what, brought Janet into professional Star Trek. This is so awesome. Yes. Cherry Tree. Did I tell you? Cherry Tree, mycherrytree.com is the website. This is just a sample of the cool merchandise. This is far from what brought them into the Star Trek game. In fact, into the publishing, into the manufacturing world. I'm just going to sit with this on my lap because I want to bring in our guest today, who is the CEO of the company that came up with so much other cool Trek stuff. This is just one part of the catalog, mycherrytree.com. Let's see. Let's bring in Martin right now. Martin's been with us before. Martin, hey, man.
Hi, Larry.
Hey.
I'm out of focus.
Happy 60th anniversary to you.
I'm out of focus. Let me see.
You look good to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You look fine. I was going to ask you, if it was a long party last. No, I'm kidding. No, you look fine. No, thanks for joining us. Thank you for these goodies.
Sure.
And thanks for coming on. Thanks for being a part of Star Trek. I know it's been, we can talk about that later. I started to say it's been an interesting year for some of the licensees, but you are still here.
Yes.
Celebrating for the 60th. In fact, I saw a blog post that you did on your site. This is your second time with us. We talk about all the cool things that Cherry Tree is doing. But we just celebrated First Contact Day.
I have to interrupt you. Are you sure I'm in focus? I look on my side incredibly out of focus.
No, you look fine. On my screen, you look fine.
That is so strange.
I don't know. Yeah. Trust the tech, the tech, and trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Martin, you were saying. Let me. I think our chat bunch would tell us. Hey, everybody in chat. Martin looks fine to you. I think so. Yes, side-lit carved acrylic. You're not 1,000% sharp, but quite okay. Martin looks fine. Everybody's doing a thumbs up.
What's wrong with my camera?
I don't know.
So weird.
It's getting it out.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, now we go.
Take two. Hi, Martin.
Hi, Larry.
We were talking about First Contact Day just being around, and what I didn't realize was you said First Contact Day is a very special day to you and Cherry Tree.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What's the story then? The Vulcans came down and gave you like the golden tablets or something, or inspiration, or
kind of. So, First Contact. First of all, Star Trek: First Contact is my favorite Trek movie, and I watch it several times a year. I have to admit, but usually on First Contact Day, it's kind of a tradition for me to watch it. And in 2016, while I was watching Star Trek First Contact, I actually had the idea for our Borg Microcube PCs. And back then I was actually watching it and I saw this Borg cube flying through the screen.
For the 50th anniversary. In 2016.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But when was First Contact? 96?
96 was the movie,
yeah.
Right.
So we're talking about the 20th anniversary.
Right.
I basically was sitting there watching the movie, saw the Borg cube, and for some reason I was thinking about if somebody ever put a computer in that thing, and started Googling, and we went from there. But it took us roughly a year to actually have a working prototype and everything.
And you didn't have a company before that?
No. I mean, I had a company, but a different one.
Right. Nothing to do with...
nothing to do with this. And we basically had to start completely from scratch with this. Because we had no experience in licensing. We had... my background is I'm an electrical engineer by trade. So I come from the IT sector, but I took quite a long hiatus, actually, from the industry. And when I saw this, I basically got a little bit of a back to the roots moment and thought it might be a cool idea to do something like this again. And the thing when I'm doing things like this, so one thing that we're doing since the very beginning, I'm super against Me Too products. I don't really like when people make products that several others are out there already.
Oh,
So
right.
for me, one of the most important things was when I looked this up, did anybody else ever do that? Was there anybody else who had licensed Star Trek computers? Was there anybody who took an actual ship or a Borg cube and make it in a way that a PC fits in there? And I did a lot of digging into this, and I actually saw that nobody ever tried it, or did it. So that's where this all started. And the tricky part of this was, of course, we didn't have a company, but this is only a part of it, because when you do something like this, so the Borg microcube was a thing that it was super small. It was 6.5 by 6.5 inches cube. Yeah, it was literally only like that big. And we needed a special mainboard for this, for it to work. And it took a lot of engineering to make that little thing actually work. And this wasn't necessarily a product where you can say, you know what, I'm going to crawl up in my garage or in my room or whatever, and I'm going to make this completely by myself. We needed people for this. We needed, of course, CBS's permission back then to get a license and so on. And I got help. So the fun part about this is when we were actually looking for funding for this, I gave up looking for external funding pretty fast, because when you meet with potential investors and you tell them what you're planning on doing, one of the questions was, what is a Borg cube? And the other question is, you want to put what in what? Why would anybody buy that? And I'm like, okay, I need to find a different way to finance this. So we had a little bit of a discussion how we're going to do this, if we can shoestring this along with our own money for a period of time. And then luckily a friend of mine jumped in as an angel investor as well, and we were able to hire our first people, rent our first offices, and basically start the production of those things.
So oh, I was going to say, so let me get this straight. So around 2016 or so, the 20th anniversary of the movie First Contact, that you're watching during the 50th anniversary year of all Star Trek. And in hindsight, you're right. It's like, why has no one thought to put a computer in a Borg cube before? That's so awesome. But you were the first one. It sounded like you were kind of shocked. And because of all that, we have everything from computers in a Borg cube and much more, and way beyond, to everything that CherryTree's. So the company's 10 years old. Yes.
This year is a super special year for us, because we're basically celebrating three anniversaries this year. We have 60 years of Star Trek, we have 30 years of Star Trek First Contact, and we have 10 years of the company. And I honestly didn't even realize that when we heard last year through our contacts at Paramount, this year is going to be the 60th and you guys need to make special products and whatnot. I was like, okay, cool, we have an anniversary. But then it started, when you look at all the dates, it started to actually drizzling in what's actually happening this year.
You picked a good year to start, because the 6s and the 1s years are the
total coincidence.
Or the zeros, or the 0 years. I'm going to keep opening this up.
I do apologize. This is a little bit of pain to unpack, but we have to wrap these very good so they don't scratch.
No, exactly. Here we go. I just want to show it off. There. See, now I've got the top blue off. Isn't that awesome? Now it's simple, but when it's up with the blue light glowing through,
you can actually adjust the colors on the lamp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It starts off when you first plug it in. It starts off as I think a rainbow pattern that goes off, and with the little button in the middle, you can choose the different colors and the different effects.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, like I said, you're talking about computers in a
Mhm.
cube. That was your like flagship product, I guess.
So we started off because the way licensing works, it's rarely that you start a licensing contract and get a license for everything. So it's not like that a company goes to Paramount or to Disney or whatever and said, "Hey, I want a license." And they say, "Okay, you have a license to do everything for everything." That's not how this works. When we started, we had the license to do one thing and one thing only, and that was board cube PCs. And licensing period takes usually 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started this, our license was super restricted. It was next generation board cube PCs. That's it. Then when Star Trek Picard hit, we got this extended a little bit. We always, so here's another thing, we always had a license for convention special t-shirts. That's also because when we had our first booth at Star Trek Las Vegas, we actually said, okay, technically we have two products. We have a small computer and a big computer, but we need something to sell there because we need to make up, for the costs of the convention and everything. So it was a little bit easier back then because, as you might well know, CBS Consumer Products was a way smaller company.
Mm-hmm.
It was a way smaller division, and everything was easier. It was less bureaucratic. And when I told them, look, I want to do T-shirts just for conventions, they were eager to allow it. And at conventions, our T-shirts are usually a big hit because we try to make them fun. Most of them are puns and have just fun things on them.
I was going to say, if people haven't stopped by your big table layout at Vegas or wherever they can find you, they should, because you've got, well, that's part of what I wanted to get to is on one, you start off with computers and book, and then you have T-shirts, and then you have all these other goodies too. You have a whole gamut. It's not just the high end, and it's not just the super tech. There's a lot of fun little, because you're right. You have a variety of price points, which helps the sales keep going.
So what usually happens with licenses like ours, the studios, they always like to raise your minimum guarantee. We started off with $20,000 for 2 years, and it got slightly increased with every contract period. But what they do with every contract period, they also want to sweeten the deal a little bit. So you can get, in our case, we got more shows over the years. We were not just like Next Generation. We got Star Trek Picard, we got Voyager, until we had almost all the shows and movies. And what they also like to do is give you more products. And one of the things that we expanded very first was PC accessories. So for us, it was very important that we allowed to do mice and keyboards and all kind of PC accessories, because with this year, it's actually the first year where we also start selling PC components. So we just got approval for Star Trek themed water coolers. They're called AIOs. They're basically CPU coolers. And the thing that goes on the CPU has various Star Trek logos on them in an infinity mirror. They're super nice. But now I lost my train of thought. As for all the other things we had, I usually try, so our board cubes that we have now, they are all injection molded. And they all come from one tool. So that's the tool is basically the thing that makes the panels for our board cubes. And one of the first things we noticed is that we can take the panels that make our board cubes, make them out of a different material, and make lamps with it. These were our board cube lamps that we have. And it took us roughly 4 years to get Paramount, back then Viacom, to let us do those lamps. Because I told them, look, I have the tooling for it. We have the capability to make them. Why don't you let us do them? Because they're not just printed or anything. They're really nicely detailed board cube lamps. And they were like, no, home. So they have a home goods division. Those are basically the guys that make coffee mugs, tables, whatnot, all these kind of things. And they always told me for 4 years, no, we have different plans for this. And nothing ever happened. And when they jumped our contract from $20,000 to $60,000, they actually told me, you can have lamps now. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And first, I just wanted to have Borg cube lamps, but they told me, now you can make lamps in general. And that opened up a complete thing for us. Yeah.
Including these. Ah,
Including
so
these.
when did you come out with these?
This year.
Okay, so this is part of the
This is
new.
brand new. This is brand new.
60, that's what I thought. This is part of the 60th anniversary.
So these are also these lamps, for example, they are all made in the US. The base is made overseas, but the lamps are made in the US. And this is one of the things we like to
Yeah.
They're engraved here.
Oh, very nice. You will always remember there you picked it up. The nice Star Trek. Yes. And looky there, you were. That's one thing I know. You have a tech support line, even though this isn't the techiest of product. You have a good tech support. You've got humans. You have a toll-free number.
Yes.
You guys are great on. In fact, you get inspiration, and people critique something, and you have an idea, and you've right in the past, right?
Yes.
Run with it.
Yes.
Oh, look, you see, there's your color control. This is the base, and then it's simple, deceptively simple. They look very cool.
Yeah.
Back, I'm going to put one up and have on one of my back shelves going forward. I have nothing lit back here, so now this will be up there. Yeah. What else is coming? I was going to say something. I'll remember it in a minute. But what else is coming for this? Oh, I was just curious. Do you really have a lot? I mean, you obviously do because you've grown, but there are lots of people that just do your first product, the computer and the cube. Different. You've branched out from that. I know different towers and kind of thing. Yeah. Is that like your main seller, or is it like half and half with all the other products?
So the main sellers are still PCs. Because those are big ticket items. And the thing is, it's when you compare, you need to sell. We also make mouse pads, and you need to sell a lot of mouse pads to make the profit that you make with one PC, or with, even though PCs don't have that much of a margin anymore. But our main sellers are still PCs and cases. And it actually, last year was the first year where it started to balance out between all our products.
Oh, okay.
And
I just wondered if the Borg lamps took off, and the Borg Cube lamp outsells the Borg Cube PC.
No, not really. It's a super healthy balance for us. It's a super healthy balance. One product that I was extremely surprised how well it sells is actually the Klingon keyboard.
Oh yes,
that's super fun.
It's actually Klingon characters.
It's completely Klingon. There's not a single English word on it, and it's one of the few products where. So usually, when you make product like this, I was actually looking if I have one here. I don't.
Now that's one thing that I know in the past there was an Elcar's keyboard years ago, like 15, 20 years ago, but that's long gone. So
yeah, we're actually working on one right now, an Elcar's keyboard that might, if we might be ready for this to the convention. But with the Klingon keyboard, what's actually fun, most of the products, the CBS or Paramount, they want the Star Trek logo on it. And our prototype for the Klingon keyboard had the big Star Trek logo actually on the keyboard, right between the arrow keys and the six, the block with the six keys. And when they saw the prototype, they said, "We absolutely love it, but remove the Star Trek from it." And I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "Because it's the only English word." The only two English words on the whole keyboard, and it does not make sense. So all we have it on the bottom on the product sticker, but on top there's not a single English letter on it. Everything is.
Congratulations, because you are the only licensee in history to ever hear the words from the studio, "Please take off Star Trek from your product."
Yes.
So that's coming, and you might have it by Vegas.
No, we already have it. The Klingon keyboard we already have.
Okay, good. Well, what's been you said that was a surprise, or you've had some surprises. So I know you've had the T-shirts. To me, we talked last year at Vegas, and the surprise are the little, what do you call the little figures, your littler pieces, the smaller.
Oh, so we have keycaps. We have keycaps from lower decks. They're basically when you have a mechanical gaming keyboard, you can pull the keys off. And I have Mariner here. I don't know why, but
well, everyone should have Mariner handy. Yes.
So
and they fit on. You can take the keycap off and put it on.
Yes. When you have a mechanical keyboard, you can take these off and you can just put them on. Then one of the things we have,
or you can just line them up without a keyboard.
Exactly. And we have our Borg Cube cats. This was one of the first things we made when they're technically lamps. So our Borg Cube cats are not figurines, they're lamps, because they're sitting on a translucent Borg Cube, and there's an LED lamp in there, and it's basically a large cat that like that big, and it knocks off a little Enterprise from the Borg Cube. And they're super cute. We actually stopped making them, but we're gonna offer them again for this year because it's the 60th
saying cat, C-A-T.
Cat, yeah.
All right, yeah. All right. Oh, I wish you had one there handy. That just
I can get a small one real quick.
Oh, sure. People have to see this.
I'll be right back.
People have to see this. I didn't have a prop list to approve ahead of time, so the stage manager's falling down here, everybody. We're going to dive into the, this is so amazing. I know on one hand you go, oh, it's one of the merch makers. But Martin, if you couldn't tell, Martin is an actual dyed-in-the-wool fan, okay? So he wasn't watching First Contact for research. He was watching because he wanted to watch it in the day when he got inspired. And it takes all kinds. He's sitting there, it struck me, he's sitting there going, why has no one thought of this before? And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm amazed that no one's thought of this before, but who had thought of it? It's also amazing that there was enough quantity. I was just telling the audience while you were getting that. It's amazing that on one hand, like your backers and early finance people that didn't go in, didn't get it.
Yeah.
And it's not the hugest. You're not going to be selling, department store numbers or, and Apple store numbers around the country. But it's amazing that there's enough sales potential. There's enough potential sales market for, your original product, PC and a Borg Cube. And you think, what, are you going to sell 10? No, you've sold way more than 10 or 100.
So this is where the internet becomes such a lovely thing. When we started this, the comments we got on the first advertisings, they were horrendous. People were literally like, oh yeah, you're going to sell 3 of those. 10 years later, haha. It's the mean people you actually encounter when you try something new is mind blowing.
Really, and I'm shocked to hear that.
Another comment was from a guy. Oh, thanks for giving me the idea. I'm gonna make one myself. Never did, because we actually replied to him. Okay, make it and show it to us. It might be an awesome piece. Never happened. It's one of those things. Yeah.
What did you find?
Cats. Meow.
Did you have those last year?
So
I missed these.
So these are the small ones, but we also make them big.
Oh.
So the big ones are the ones that are lighting up, and these are like, you can see that they're super small, but the big ones are like that tall.
And you said they chase off the Enterprise. What was that?
Yeah, they basically, cats are known for knocking things off the table, and this is what they're doing. And not that people notice this, but this is actually an Abrams Enterprise. It's a little bit, So it's basically the little cat going through the Abrams Enterprise. Like,
you're too fanboy, Martin. You're just too fanboy.
Yeah, guilty.
Now, is that the 5 Mile Enterprise, or is no? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The Amazing, Incredible, Shrinking Kelvin. Yeah. Wow, those are. I did not see those last year. I would have done so, but you said
this
they went out of production for a while. You said.
So these actually are all handmade here. Yeah, they're not made in China or anything. We 3D print the whole thing. They're painted here. They're assembled here. The thing is with these, so one thing that we try with our products is our bore cubes for computer cases. They're really expensive. Yeah, they're expensive computer cases. One of the reasons is they're also not mass produced. They're all made here. With all our other products, we always try not to go crazy with the pricing, because of course we have to pay certain amount of royalties to Paramount. But let's face it, a mousepad is a mousepad. A keyboard is a keyboard. You cannot say, oh, I have a regular keyboard that's normally selling for $25, and because I put Star Trek on it, I now charge $125. This is not what we do. Yeah, so we try to keep the pricing low. With these, we make very little profit on these guys because they're all hand painted, they're super detailed. But here's one thing: people love them. People at conventions, they absolutely love them. And for us, it's at conventions so rewarding when you have people come to the booth and when they see our stuff, the look that people have on their faces when they see new things that they like, it's incredibly rewarding.
I'm still just tickled because the company that started off selling PCs and board cubes, which is very techy, and I get it. I'm glad, people want those, but you're the same company that's selling funky punny T-shirts and Boimler and Mariner on keycaps and cats on board cubes swatting Enterprise. I mean, I don't know. You're just so anti-corporate. I mean, not anti-corporate, but it's great when you're this entrepreneur CEO and you can say, we're going to do this, and you trust your gut. Have you had something that you were disappointed by? Like it was an idea and you put it out there and it didn't?
Funny. I mean, believe it or not, the keycaps, actually, the lower decks keycaps, they this is the only product that we made, and they sell incredibly bad.
Oh.
And they're super fun. They're super fun, but I think this is so niche, because you need to have a mechanical gaming keyboard for it. And
who needs a keyboard? I would just want to roll them up here on top of my,
That's actually what people do. That's actually what people do. We sell them at the conventions, and some people just buy them because they can glue them on something. And the problem is I cannot market them like this because I don't have a
figurine license or whatever.
Exactly, but we have a lamp license and we have computer accessory license. So this is where it gets.
So this is where you have to go, hey folks, if you have keys shaped like a shelf, then you can. No, what the first it only hit me now because when I see them in person, you're reacting, you're like, oh my god, it's Boimler and Mariner and but watching you hold it up there, I had a vibe, and I'm old enough to know this. When Peanuts was at the high, when there was Peanuts mania in the 60s and 70s, and you could get Charlie Brown and Lucy and Linus on everything, and they had the little busts. They just had little busts, and that's what that reminds me of. It's like, oh, I wish now you had like twice that size and 3 times that. It'd be a huge keyboard. It'd be a stretch, I know.
We have so for the conventions, we actually printed them 600% size. We have one of each that are that big, and they stand on the tables that basically they are.
Oh, they're not for sale. They're just
no, they're just display items.
Wow.
One thing that we also what we also have. So we started with mouse pads last year, or even the year before that, and we only had a few. But this year we're gonna come out with a lot of Star Trek 60 mouse pads with really gorgeous ones, and it's gonna be different LCAS mouse pads that come, and they have LED frames around it. It's actually quite nice.
What's the most outland? What's the one you're most excited for people to see of those, even?
Of the products that we're going to show.
You were talking about mouse pads, which a while ago you said a mouse pad is a mouse pad.
Oh, I think all the Star Trek 60 ones with the ships are pretty gorgeous that come out. They're all super, super pretty. They're all nice. They're all nice. It's we have them from almost every show, and we now make them in large gaming mouse pads like we did before, but we also make now smaller ones, because at the convention, why, for example, these conventions are so important to us, because we can talk to people and we can also take critiques or suggestions in. And what we had with these mouse pads, so people don't use them only, not only as gaming mouse pads. Some people use them as placemats, or one guy actually looked at it and says, I can use this for cleaning my gun. And I'm like, sure. Clean your gun on an L-Class mouse pad. Yeah, and it's totally fine. And so people actually told us they would love one, but not in that size. So what we did, we adjusted the designs of a lot of them and make them now square as well. So yeah,
that's it. So what's new? So so these are new this year, right?
Yes.
Not the box. The ships are new this year. What else? And these new assortment of mouse pads are new.
Yes. So new lamps, new mouse pads. Then let me think. Then one thing, we got the production sample yesterday of this, and I was actually super excited about this. This here is a little USS Defiant. Yeah, and it's a computer accessory actually, because it's a USB stick. It's just something simple, you know.
But hey, that's the USB. You will not confuse it with any of your other USBs, you know.
Yeah. When you need and my plan is that we make a couple of different chips with these. But I had to try out the manufacturer, how it works out, and if the supplier is good, and if Paramount likes it. This is one of the most important things. Yeah, then we have something else, but this is super techy actually, and it's also kind of stupid. But
well, you picked the right place.
So I told you that we now have these Star Trek themed water coolers for computers. And when you install one of these, you need to put something between the CPU and the water block called thermal paste. It's basically a thermal conductor that the water cooler can take the heat nicely off the CPU. So we were actually sitting together and thinking about this, and I was like, okay, why am I selling or why am I about to sell a licensed Star Trek themed water cooler when I don't have Star Trek themed thermal paste for it? And we came up with this, and it's O'Brien's special thermal compound.
bring it close to the camera.
And it says O'Brien's special thermal compound, and it's property of Deep Space Nine. And when I pitched this to Paramount, my new guy at Paramount, so our new rep, he emailed me back and he says, say no more. I'm actually a PC builder. I build all my gaming PCs myself. I know what you're talking about. Please do this. This is hilarious. We need this. So we got this approved already, and it's little things, you know, because these we're gonna add to the water coolers. We don't even know if we're gonna sell them, but they are gonna be an add-on product. Yeah.
So something hit me a while ago, and I just thinking about the odder things. We're talking about all these products with ships, like these plates, So what are the other ships that are in the light up?
So with this, we have the regular 1701, 1701D, 1701E. We have the Voyager. We have the Defiant. We have Deep Space Nine from two different angles. And we have the Sword of Kahless, and we have a regular Klingon battle. We started with these actually. So these were the first ones we made, because it's they look really great when you adjust the lamp to red. It looks super cool. And so the way we do these products, when we have an idea, I rarely do all of them. Yeah, but when you have an idea like the lamps, you immediately think about, oh my God, I can do all these ships. I can do even a phaser. I can do a Borg cube. But you have to start somewhere, because
the
you also
Sword of
don't want
Kalis,
to...
when they find it, it's sitting mounted with a base.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how they find it.
So the way I'm doing this, I'm submitting one product to Paramount. I'm submitting one product, and I'm basically telling them, look, if you guys like it, if you think this is going to be cool, we can make all kind of different ones. And we only had one product that they flat out denied, but they told us, and they even canceled the submission in the approval system, because it was Kirk Thatcher's character from Star Trek 4, the punk on the bus. And it was a keycap of the punk on the bus, but the keycap next to it was the finger when he flips off Kirk. And we made this together with Kirk, and when you see it on the keyboard, we actually sneak it into as many social media videos as we can, because it's hilarious. Yeah, but when Paramount saw it, the comments I got back, everyone said, "Look, it's hilarious, but we cannot allow you to do that. Can you do something else, like the sound machine he has, the Ghetto Blaster or whatever it's called?" And we said, yeah, maybe. So they canceled the submission, and we're gonna see if we do it or not.
Let a few more years in the social cycles go. Well, I want to get back to something, but just as far as the 60th goes, what else is there? Anything? What else are you doing? Are there other new items? We talked about the light plates.
So we have a few things that we want. We have a few things that we are thinking about doing, but I'm not sure yet, because we actually our production pipeline for this year is pretty full, and we also want to make a little bit more of the USB sticks.
Okay.
Lost my train of thought again. There's one thing that we have this year. Every year we bring a crazy computer build. An absolutely crazy computer build. And last year we had this absolutely insane warp core build. It's a super tall computer case with a double warp core, and they are fully water cooled, and people really, really like that one. And my plan this year is that we make the same one again, but for First Contact. And it's going to be not white, it's going to be completely black and completely blacked out, and it's going to have a shelf in the middle that recreates the whole scene where the Borg Queen fiddles around on Data and so on. And it's going to be insane. It's going to be a full-blown diorama in a PC. It's going to be absolutely glorious.
Okay. to quote a famous Klingon. That's wild. That is wild. So let me ask you this, though. So you're talking about some of the reactions you're having, that licensing is turned over. I know that the world is full of smaller licensees. I don't know where you are on the spectrum of there's obviously some big ones that just do Star Trek as a slice of their output.
Yeah.
But it's been we've heard from several licensees that with the changeover, new people running things. But it sounds like you guys the Cherry Tree is full speed ahead. So yay.
Yeah, we definitely so we had last year was a little bit tough, because the way they do this with every regime just in the licensing structure. And we had a Disney license before, and I kind of know where the wind blows when they start acting a certain way. So with Disney, for example, when we started with our Disney license, you couldn't even get through the door under $100,000 minimum guarantee. And this was back then.
Now, just for everybody that's not business oriented, when you say minimum guarantee, they mean you are guaranteeing to sell $1 million worth.
So the minimum guarantee works like that. You have you sign a contract for 2 years, and you have to pay them basically the minimum guarantee upfront. But this happens usually not in one piece. These are usually 2 or 3 payments that you have to pay. So usually what you do, you pay, let's say the minimum guarantee is $20,000, like we had when we started this. You pay $10,000 at signing, and then $10,000 when the second year starts. And what CBS, what Paramount offered me last year, because our contract ran out last year, and what they offered me, we had 60,000 minimum guarantee, and they told us our new threshold is 100,000. We're not doing anything under 100,000. I got so mad with them that I told them I'm not doing this, because Disney offered me a new contract for 200,000, but I can pick and choose whatever I want from all 5 studios. So you have to put this into perspective. You pay $200,000 for 2 years, but you can take any IP you want from Fox, Lucasfilm, Disney, and from all their 5 major studios. And I told this my contact at Paramount, and I was super emotional back then, because I formed a company that centered around Star Trek, and I'm doing this because I never considered myself a hardcore Trekkie. I consider myself a passionate fan. And I think we make the products we do because there is a lot of love for the products in it. And this is also why I dropped our Star Wars license, because
you did?
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. I was like, Star Trek, Star Trek does it for me. I watch it and I'm like, yay. I watch Deep Space Nine and I'm like, I'm home. But
you remind me a lot of, speaking of licensees that have passion, you remind me a lot of Lou and John at Fansets that make the pins. And they had other lines, and they've all just about dropped them and kept their Star Trek. That's what,
So when they told me we want $60,000, we want $100,000 for you now, and I asked them, okay, let me clarify this. You want $100,000 for 70% of one franchise, because I don't even have all of Star Trek.
See, that's what I was going to ask about the ships and everything. You can't. I was going to say, what about the Cerritos? What about the Protostar from?
The Cerritos I could do, because I have it. The only licenses we don't have is Strange New Worlds, and I don't know why. It never got offered to us. And here's one thing: for certain products. Or for certain IPs, I need to look into it if the products that are in the show make sense for me, or the things in the show make sense for a product. And getting a complete IP for this is, because sometimes there's more money involved and so on. But anyway, so last year when that all happened, I almost told them to shove it. Really, I told them, look, I gotta switch. I don't care. And then they got back to me 2 weeks later, and they told me, I have an idea. Why don't we renew your contract, but we give you an amendment to your old contract? And I'm like, what's the difference? And they were like, you just get an amendment that your contract goes for another year for the same terms, but you also get more shows. And that way you have a year to decide if you want to go with the new terms that we have. And one of the first things I did this year, that I emailed my contact immediately, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good with the new terms. We can do that now. So the one thing regarding smaller licensees, CBS back in the day, they were way smaller, the team. But that also means that the team was also cheaper for the studio. you now have this gigantic licensing machine in the back. And the one thing is, studios, they want you to grow. I do understand why studios keep raising the minimum guarantee, because if you run around on the same minimum guarantee for years and years and years, and you do not pay extra royalties, that basically means you're not growing as a company. And then there might be something wrong, because when you have a company, you need to grow. There needs to be a healthy growth, because inflation and everything gets more expensive, everything gets crazier in the world, and you need to be able to adapt. And the other thing is also, I kind of understand why some studios have a threshold where they say, we don't want to deal with anybody below that, because imagine all the people that are working in there. You have somebody that approves your products. But let me give you an example. This guy, the little defiant. Before I do this, I'm gonna ask my business contact at Paramount, can I do this? They tell me, look, you have a license for computer accessories, so you can do a USB stick. Absolutely. You have a license for Deep Space Nine. You can do the Defiant. So that's cool. Please submit it. So then I go into the approval system. It's called Tracker Plus, and I upload everything. And then I send it from Tracker Plus to the business person. The business person then checks it one more time and sends it to the product development team. This is a whole team. It's not just one person. We're dealing with just one person, but it's a whole team. They look at it, they literally pick it apart and are like, okay, detail is correct. Okay, you can do that. Then it goes to another team, because then you need packaging for it. Now, here's one thing. We don't do retail. We have resellers, but we don't do retail. So when you don't do retail, when you just sell from your own website, you have a little bit more leeway with the packaging.
Because here's the package.
Exactly. So this does not sell via retail. That's the reason why we can ship it. And this was something I actually questioned very early on, because when we made computers, I told them, look, guys, if I make a branded box where a Fusion Cube ships in, Fusion Cubes that we make ship in 26 by 26 by 26 boxes. These boxes are incredibly expensive. If I make this box like Star Trek themed, like they want, the box costs me like most likely $60, $70. And that ruins
just for the box.
Yes, just for the box. And so then you go, but still you need to package it somewhere. And so it goes at least through 3 people before you get this thing out of the door. And most of the teams, they have more people in there. Then when you start selling it, you have to write quarterly royalty reports. This goes to separate people that look at your royalty reports. Then you have to make royalty estimates, what your next quarter is going to look like. This is going to go to different people. So now from what I'm telling you, there are 5 people involved. These people need to get paid.
Minimum.
Yeah. And these people need to get paid. So when you look a little bit more into the detail, of course it sucks. Of course it sucks that they take away the small vendors. I completely get it. And back then CBS they saw small vendors differently. They saw small vendors as people that can raise awareness for the shows. But unfortunately, the big corporations don't think like this anymore.
Well, and Star Trek had been in a fallow time too.
That's the other thing. And this is one thing where I'm a little bit like, that's a little bit sour for me. The current regime, I don't really think, how should I say this without people starting hating me? Again, I love Star Trek. I built a company around this. For me, it's Star Trek is extremely important. But when you look strictly at the numbers, Star Trek is not Star Wars.
Mhm.
Strictly from a money point, yeah, I don't like Star Wars. Yeah, I'm not a Star Wars fan. But from the money perspective, Star Trek is here, Star Wars is here. Yeah, it's the problem is the current regime, they do think that Star Wars is here and Star Trek is here. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem in quality. This is a problem in financials, because, to be very frank, Star Wars fans, they buy almost everything that has a Star Wars logo on it. It can be literally, it can be a pen that has an Empire logo on it, and they're like, you know what I mean? But Star Trek fans are a little bit different. They're a little bit different. They have more appreciation for what the things actually are, and give you
discriminating might be the word. Discriminating.
Yes, yes.
In the shopping consumer sense.
Yes, yes. And I give you a very, very. This is actually a very brutal reality check. When you have a Star Wars product, you can walk into Target, into Best Buy, not in the retail stores, but in the headquarters, and you can say, "Look, I have a Death Star or a X-wing fighter USB stick. You guys want to sell it in your stores?" And they are like, "Yeah, give it to me. Send me 250,000 units, and we sell it."
Mm-hmm.
You can come up with the coolest Star Trek product on the planet and go into retail, unless it's figurines. Yeah, but even figurine people, I think, have problems getting them in in certain retail chains.
We talk about this all the time. People say, why are there no Star Trek toys in Target and Walmart anymore?
Because it's simply that what I showed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And also here's another thing, Amazon.
Oh,
Amazon ruins the retail business. And there's another problem, but this is a conversation for a whole different day. You know how many actually resellers are out there that try to sell licensed Star Trek products on Amazon, and they get kicked off because they cannot prove that they actually sell licensed products, but yet Amazon sells unlicensed bootlegged stuff all the time. There are people that sell it, of course. You can get a lot of Star Trek things on there. But I know personally a couple of people that actually have good stores, good outlets. Yeah, they wanted to try to sell their stuff on Amazon. Amazon told them, no, copyright infringement. Then he got a letter from Paramount telling Amazon, he's a licensed reseller. He's authorized. And they're like, yeah, we don't care. It's like
YouTube taking down a video, even though the video is fine.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, back to my original point. I'm glad you're still here.
Me too.
I'm glad you're still blowing and going. And yeah, the diversity of products, I guess, is helps your bottom line. It helps all the gears of the machine. Why don't we see if we've got any comments now? We've got lots of folks in the chat here, everybody. Good to see a lot of our regulars here. We have a lot of folks from Austria, Germany, in our Europe, some of them from my portal side. Yeah, unboxing a guest. Okay.
I'm playing with the cats here. I'm sitting here like
you're like Wash in the pilot of Firefly with these dinosaurs. Only you've got Trek cats. Yeah, and I was unboxing at the beginning. The satisfying sounds of unplasticking. I've gone way back here. What do you actually call these?
Wireframe lamps.
What are they?
Wireframe lamps.
Wireframe lamps. All right.
LED wireframe lamps.
Because the lighting picks up the etching there in the wireframe. What's the let's see. Yeah. Apparently you were just fine. Oh, CherryTree's watching and said, "You look good, boss." So there you go.
Thank you.
Let's see. Come on, guys. Engineering looks awesome. You love the love that warp core machine. I've gone all the way back to the beginning. I think maybe you answered this. Can you make a cooling system for a PC that looks like a TNG warp core? That's what you said you did, right?
So the thing is, we make custom water loops that look like a TNG warp core. The thing is, we've been tinkering around if we can make an AIO solution, which basically means where the people can take it out of the box and just install it. But this is a little bit. So we have a couple of products in our pipeline. We didn't. Let me rephrase this whole thing. One thing, we didn't do anything really extremely cool. Not all we do is extremely cool, but nothing big engineering wise since the very first one and since the Picard Cube. The one thing that we are tinkering around now is point one is a AIO solution that looks like a TNG warp core, because these custom water loops, they're not for everybody. And it's basically just to explain what it is. When you cool a PC with liquid, there are solutions where you can just take the whole thing, the radiator, the hoses, and the pump is all in one piece. Yeah, and you just screw it in and you're done. Then what we are doing a lot, and this is where we make the warp cores, they're called custom water loops. Everything is separate. So you have the pump separate, which looks like the warp core in our builds. You have the radiator separate, and you bend actually the tubes, the acrylic tubes, and you have to heat them up and bend them. That's not for everyone because it's incredibly expensive and it's also maintenance. It requires maintenance and so on. And then we're also tinkering around with a little bit more something technically LCAS related. But I think I'm going to talk about this in a couple of months.
Okay.
Because it's kind of kicking my butt at the moment, and but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool.
So the answer here is basically a conditional yes.
Yes, we're trying.
It's in there. Can you also put a computer into a casing that looks like, say, the Defiant? Well, it's got to be practical as a stand-up.
So yeah. The thing, no, not necessarily, Larry.
Okay.
The thing is, we make all kind of crazy cases. We're working, for example, for 2 years now on a DeLorean computer case, and I'm not talking about just the one that we showed 2 years ago with the flux capacitor on the front. I'm talking about a 4-foot DeLorean that's completely articulated, where the doors open and everything, and it's a full computer case, but it's a complete accurate Back to the Future DeLorean replica with a PC inside. The problem, so the Defiant in theory, yes, but when you look at the Defiant, it's extremely flat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do not water cool it, if you air cool it, you could in theory put right here where that thing is an opening where the CPU could breathe. Yeah. The problem is when you scale this up height-wise, that a CPU cooler fits in there, you're looking at a model, I would say, 3.5 feet long, at least.
Mm-hmm. Keeping it all accurate, which people would want. They wouldn't want you to get the proportion.
The problem is, where do you put it? It's so that was actually one of my first ideas, when we started doing new things, if we should make a Defiant shaped computer case. The problem is this thing would be gigantic.
Yeah.
It would be really big.
There you go. So Timothy says, I would love a PC shaped like a Borg Queen octahedron. There you go. Oh, gorgeous lamps. There you go. There's a comment.
Thank you.
Let's see. I could imagine a laptop as a Defiant optic. A laptop is flat, Defiant's flat, and you could.
Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah. yeah. Let's see.
That's actually a very good thing. Yeah.
Christoph says the Klingon keyboard is great, especially when it's signed by two Berman era chancellors like mine. But Martin already knows that through Robert. Yeah. Let's see. Joel saw the keyboard in Vegas. Looks amazing. Here you go. Mariner is adorable. So do you have it's the basic 4 leads, right?
Let me bring them.
It's Mariner, Boimler, Tendi, and Rutherford, I think.
I'm getting you one.
I'm going to catch up on the chat, everybody. I guess you've noticed by now that Martin has to catch himself before he gets a little too... He's very good about being straight with everybody.
Okay. So this is how, that by the way also is completely a different packaging that Star Trek usually does, that Paramount usually does. And we explained to them that this makes no sense in a blister pack because they need to look super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically how we pack the keycaps. And we do, let me open this. So we have Boimler.
It's a Boimler. Lower Decks is gone, but you can have the Fearsome Foursome. You can have the best of Beta Shift.
We have Rutherford.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
What was challenging about this, by the way?
Yeah.
We were actually, when we came out with this, when we had the idea, we were the first ones that did figurine style for Lower Decks, because you have a 2-dimensional show, a 2-dimensional animation, and you need to make a 3-dimensional character out of it, which was super tricky. And Paramount, so that there's one woman one lady in the product development team that helped us a lot with these. So we submitted the prototypes, the drawings, and photos, and she actually sent us back over 2 weeks. She worked directly with our 3D artist, and she sent us back detailed instructions how to model them and how to adjust the cheeks and the hair and everything. And that again is Mariner.
Yeah. So you all were a pioneer. This is, as much as people love Lower Decks now, you would think there'd be more of this kind of product, but you all wound up being, and this is what, 2 years ago?
We made these. We started making these actually when Lower Decks came out.
Oh, okay. Right out of the gate. Okay. Well, it's amazing that you guys were the pioneers of just making 3D version for whatever anybody's going to do. Do they have occasion where let's say someone else with the figurine license or whatever wants to? Do they do like? Would there ever be a chance where your artist that you paid to develop those would they come and take your files and pay?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because I'm too too protective of our products. And the one thing I don't really like is I said this before actually. I don't like people that make Me Too products. And we had this actually recently, but I don't really want to get into this because we had 2 products that one of them we had for 2 years, and another one we made a year ago or so, and it's not even an official Star Trek product, and because it's public domain and you can do with it whatever you want. And we made it, and we had huge success with it, and out of a sudden,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, and out of a sudden, that company comes. This was actually the reason why I almost dumped my license last year, because I got an email from them saying, "You cannot do this," and I'm like, "Okay, do tell why." because it's an official Star Trek product. And I'm like, it's not. Here you have the paperwork. It's public domain. And they were like, oh, I didn't know that. And they were completely sincere. And we talked it out and it was all good. What made me incredibly mad is that that company basically saw what success we had with it and completely jumped on the bandwagon. And then was like, oh my God, they make mouse pads too. We make mouse pads now. And they have no business making mouse pads, but they call them desk mats. And it's like, okay, if you feel the need to copy us, please be my guest. I even made a blog post where I said, congratulations in coming in second. And then Paramount called me and they were like, could you please remove it? And I'm like, okay. I value my connection to Paramount way, my work with Paramount way too much to risk this. But right. This jumping on the bandwagon of somebody else's success is for me always like, are you that unimaginative that you can come up with your own stuff?
Yes. The world is full of them in all arenas. Yeah, the copycat. I mean, it's like, thank you for the praise. I'm hot enough now that I've become copyable. That's, you know.
Yeah, that's also how you can see it. That's also how you can see it.
But I mean, if Star Trek was bigger, you'd see more like coming out of China, right? We see graphic. I have friends that do graphics, and they see them copied all the time, and on China, you know, 2D atoms. Here we go. Mono wants a cat Borg cube. See.
So what we actually always offered with these. And that's a super cool little feature. You
have two sizes, right?
Yeah, we have two different ones. I think the big ones, so I can actually read this because I'm actually from Austria.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Austria.
Never would have known.
So and I just wanted to reply in German. Oh my God. The big ones, I think we sold for 99, if I'm not mistaken. And the small ones for 49. I need to look it up again. Okay. But the one thing, we had this little option, and this was really cool. When you buy them online, you could choose between all the different colors of the cats, the pre-made ones. And we had an option that said, send me a picture of your fur baby. And we actually made the cat look like your cat.
Yeah.
And there's one thing that I have to say, and this is, so for us, there's a YouTuber called Gamers Nexus. And he's a hardware reviewer and really, really nice guy. And he did a thing about us early on where somebody just sent him a picture of our Borg cubes, and he actually talked very nicely about it. And then I had an idea to build something really crazy, and I shipped it to him, and he showed it off, but he interrupted this whole thing and said, I need to show you guys something. And he pulls out a Picard cube that he bought from us, and we had no idea. Yeah. And he's like, but I'm not here to talk about this. And he puts it away, and then he puts a cat up, a Borg cube cat up. And because he used to have a cat, and I think they called him Snowflake, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if the cat is still alive. I honestly don't think so, unfortunately. But the thing is, he has the cat, the Borg cube cat, in almost all of his videos. And it's as decoration in the back. And every time I watch one of his videos, I'm so happy and touched that he has one of our cats. And there's one video where he was wearing a tinfoil hat, and even the cat wore a little tinfoil hat. And I saw this, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Well, that's fandom. That's fandom of fandom of fandom. I'm just gonna. Okay, so we did that. Oh, I bet I know the answer to this. Can you make metal lunch boxes?
I don't have the license for that.
I was going to say.
I don't have the license for that. Okay, proper metal lunch boxes. I just wanted to say our friends at Factory Entertainment have the license for that.
Mm-hmm.
They do that.
Another great license, yes.
Oh, so these guys, for example, speaking of other licensees, Factory Entertainment, for me, I love those guys. What they do is the accuracy. By the way, and I hate when people steal, not only when people steal ideas, but I also hate when people steal credit. The Klingon keyboard, not my idea. It was Barry's idea from Factory Entertainment.
Oh.
And he came to me at a convention and he was like, dude, you need to make a Klingon keyboard. And I'm like, why? Who buys that? And he's like, trust me. Klingon keyboard. And I'm like, okay.
And yeah,
it sells.
It's the only product that Paramount said takes Star Trek off the key.
Yes.
So I think Sean, of course it'd be possible to make a proper metal much more, but the right company has to do it. Hey, yes. Hey, Crusher Convo. Yes, you made it.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. I want too many things, Mota said. Oh, looky here. Yes, there she is. Jesse says, love Cherry Tree Martin.
Thank you. That it came out super long.
Oh, here's the question. Duralta says, on your Defiant USB, shouldn't the USB be in the front so the Defiant can dock to your computer the way?
Okay. So about that, I
knew you would have a story on this.
I 100% agree, and this was my original idea. However, the problem with this is, and we're gonna solve this, and I already know how. When you look at how wide this thing is, look at this. Look how wide the USB plug is, and then look how narrow the nose is. So the only way to make this work with a regular USB is basically to scale it up too big. But what we can do, and we're gonna do this with the next ones, is that we use USB-C for this, and then we can put it in the nose. So I 100% agree with that.
And I 100% knew that that of course had already occurred to yes. Oh gosh, we never thought of that. No, I knew you had.
I have a question, because we talked Defiant, and this is a question to all the hardcore Deep Space Nine fans and ship fans. The front of the Defiant is the deflector. Where's the dock? Where's the airlock if it docks like this?
Didn't Doug and Rick try to do I've forgotten.
You know what I mean? Because she always docks like this in Deep Space Nine, and I'm always wondering, do they walk out through the deflector?
I remember this. Didn't they like try to squeeze in like a side pan? I don't know. I hate to say that I'm so rusty on my DS9 that but I know this has been tackled. Different people have had different theories. This is like, is the bridge of the original Enterprise really at an angle, or is it straight on? Those things. Where is engineering really in the? Let's see. Oh, here you go. Mona says, I don't like most collectibles because they're just collectibles, but these are useful collectibles.
Yes. That's so this is one of the things that we like doing. The majority of our things, well, actually, when I think about it, actually all our things. So here's one thing. I don't want to necessarily say that figurines or something are not useful. They're useful because they make you happy. Yeah, it's everything that makes people happy is a good thing. The thing is, we try that all our things are actually usable for one thing or the other. Like keycaps, for example, or USB sticks, mouse pads, bumper stickers.
Let's see. Oh, he's talking about O'Brien. O'Brien must suffer. And then Joel says O'Brien must suffer the heat from your CPU. Oh no. Oh, Jesse, I'm sorry to hear about you not being well. Let's see. Get on down here. What are you saying here, Timothy? A cube-shaped PC, which is actually not a Borg cube, but instead a Tholian web with a holographic Enterprise in the middle would be cool. The red web because pipe B water, cool fluid, which is illuminated to make it look like the web is glowing energetically. Well, okay, there you go. That sounds.
You know what we can do actually down the road, Larry. I think what would be cool is if when we do this again, I'm gonna do it from my phone, because I can walk around and I can show you prototypes that we never mass produced.
Okay.
And we have so our regular Geek Machine case, our small one, that one we fiddled around with, actually laying it on the side and having Tholian web in the front. We tried this once, but we never got it to work properly. But that idea is actually, it's really cool.
You should have a museum of prototypes.
We have something like that in the back. It's really interesting to see.
And your ever helpful home team here is saying, check out the lamps and everything. There's a link to the lamps. Good for that. Could you do an LCARS panel in the lighted crystal? I think they mean the wireframe.
In theory, yes, but that would be only basically one color. There is one way to make it multicolors, but it makes the whole thing super thick. It's in theory possible. It's actually not a bad idea doing LCARS.
Well, I mean, but if it was, it didn't have to be accurate as to color. It could just be artistic. It could just be an artistic, like all white or all whatever color.
I thank you for that. That's why we can actually try this. This is a good idea. This is a really good idea.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Out of the silent Patrick. Oh, boom. Okay. When you see it. The Borg Queen. I think somebody loved your choice of wording there. When the Borg Queen fiddles around.
That's what she does.
Does the warp core go down from up? I don't know and does it make sounds?
No, it doesn't make sounds. It doesn't make sounds. So the thing is, we have on the big one with the 2 warp cores, the lights go like this. The bottom one goes upwards and the top one goes downwards. And on the single warp core and the normal computers, it goes either up and down, and you can adjust this via the main board.
Yeah, if you get a chance to see it, there's probably, I bet there's video.
It's on the website. It's on the website.
Here's a good, Doralta. So it's a gamble. You basically pay them and hope that enough people will buy your products.
Yes. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah, and Mona says no wonder.
Here's actually one thing with this. For us, one of the most important things is our customer service. And we love to treat our people, our customers right, because our customers are the reasons why we're here. And over the years, we always kept that personal touch, to never get like this. So for me, it's for example, super important when you reply to a customer that you don't have the boilerplate answers. You know what I mean? Where people just like copy paste. People need to know they talk to a real person. Yeah, the people that buy your products are the people that keep you alive. So why I'm saying this? Why I'm expanding so extremely? Over the 10 years, we gathered not a lot of full social media followers, weirdly enough, but we developed a good fan base, actually. People that like us as people that like us as a company, and people that like us as manufacturers of cool goods, And we have, and this is for a computer company, little bit rare. We have a lot of people that we like to call repeat offenders. That are literally people that have everything from the very first computer to the mouse pad. They buy just everything. And it's a gamble at the beginning. But when you do this for 10 years, you also get a feeling what's gonna sell, what's not gonna sell.
Right.
Sometimes you take a hit, yeah. But we also, when we start things like this, we're not ordering like 50,000 Defiant mousepad, USB sticks. We start with 250. Yeah. If they sell out, we buy 500. If they sell out, we buy 1,000. You know, or something like this. So you get a feeling for what you can actually sell, but it is definitely a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah. Well, but then you're staying close enough. That's, if only all businesses and all industries could follow that model. I know that. Anne Marie says, this is so fascinating. I know, Anne Marie, I know. But hey, Martin, when you say you tried not to do what everyone else is doing, you're trying to look for what hasn't been done before. That's kind of what I've always said that. I don't just want to pile on for what people are in communications. I want to look for whether it's a book or it's a podcast idea or whatever. I don't want to do the same old, because A, everybody's got plenty of the other already. And B, we could be doing something differently new.
It's way more fun to do new things.
Right. Well,
fun.
and if you feel like you're filling a gap or you see an unmet need or whatever, a passionate fan is a perfect way to describe oneself. There you go. It is interesting to hear some of the business elements that we don't usually hear about. Well, yes, my figure. This is what I'm saying. Martin is a great one to share them, and that's why I like to, not get past the 90-second commercial. Yeah, Anne Marie, heart you too. So 200K all of Disney, 100K some of Trek.
Yeah, this is exactly how it is.
There you go.
That's exactly how it is.
All...
Here's one thing regarding this.
Fellow German speaker there. Very fascinating talk.
Other studios, they like to do one thing, for example, what's also, and Paramount also doesn't do that. So with Disney, for example, when you get like 200,000 or whatever, they like to throw you a bone with IPs that you don't even want. Yeah. So they basically tell you, I don't know which one, but they basically pick a movie or a show, yeah, that they haven't done in like forever. And they're like, hey, you want to do this? Paramount doesn't do that. They're like, 2 years ago, they asked me, hey, you want to do Ninja Turtles? And I'm like, yeah. And then they were like, yeah, that would be $75,000. And I'm like, no.
I think we've made Anne Marie into a new business fan there. Yeah. This is so beyond fascinating. Thank you, Dr. Trek. Yeah. Enter the business economists. So if the company doesn't grow, the studio doesn't want to continue with the company, I guess.
So let me put it this way: if you start off with a $20,000 minimum guarantee and you keep selling over 5 or 6 years only enough merchandise to barely make the $20,000 minimum guarantee, yeah, they basically tell you, look, either do more or so the one thing is, when you do a product, this is also one of the reasons why I like to pick products that nobody else is doing. Imagine from a business point of view, you do a product that everybody else is doing. Yeah, like there are a lot of figurine manufacturers out there. Yeah. What happens if they give the license for 2 years to a figurine manufacturer that doesn't produce? They block the license for somebody else. And that's one of the biggest problems here. When they give you a license and you show them, I can make product, I grow, I make something out of the product, they're happy. If they grant you a license and you don't sell, then they're of course mad because somebody else could have taken that product and make more of it. That is also why I like to do things that nobody else is doing. Because when I show this to Paramount, they're like, why exactly do you think this is going to sell? And I'm like, because it's awesome and because people like it.
and after 8 years, trust me, or 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not in favor of losing money myself. So, right. Now, Timothy's got a long one here. I'm going to read the whole thing. Come on. He says, maybe this is why they have made Star Trek so inconsistent recently. This means the IP is devalued so that contracts can be sold for a cheaper rate to people who can make more menu later. Then after the substandard Trek improves, the business all make money. Maybe this is the actual reason why odd and even Star Trek films have the... Oh, come on, Timothy. That odd even thing was a Richard Arnold invention. Yes, it's a... This could mean that an amazing new Star Trek series or film is about to be made after the recent stint of subpar Trek. The people that bought the license cheap when Star Trek was not so good would make money when Star Trek becomes... Yeah, that's... I think you've got your tin hat on now.
When it comes to shows and movies, there's a whole different machinery in at the works in the back.
You talking about movies versus
movies and shows in general. The final now we Larry, this is another thing. Back in my day, movies and TV shows were easy. You know, with movies you had ticket sales. With TV shows you had advertising income. Now you need to start doing a very complicated math that, okay, I have a show, only 1.3 million viewers watch it. How much do they pay in subscription fees? What else are they watching? So how much money am I getting in theory out of this? I don't want to do that.
Yeah. He says, royalty estimates. How do you know if it's going to sell well next quarter? That's just part of the estimating.
Okay. Do you want the wise businessman answer, or do you want the real candid answer?
Yes.
Yes. The real businessman answer is you do all this complicated equation and you pull it out of your... You guess. You really guess. And the thing is, any licensee who tells you the story, oh yeah, we make this really good prediction, this is all crap, because the thing is, you do an educated guess. Yeah, there are months that are better, there are months that are worse. The one thing is, what makes our whole business, not only mine, but all our licensees' businesses, so difficult is we do not make things people need. We make things people want.
Mm-hmm.
If tough times happen, where do they cut back? Not at the things they need. They cut back at the things they want. If people are scared because of what's going on in the world,
mm-hmm.
What are they going to do? Are they going to blow up thousands of dollars on a fancy computer? No. They're going to sit back. They're going to wait. They're like, let's see what happens. Yeah. So you just guess. You guess. But here's one thing. Disney were the ones that took estimates very hard. You had to be really, really tough with this. Paramount wants an idea. They say like, okay, what do you think you're going to sell next quarter? But they also don't lynch you when you don't meet it.
Well, that's helpful.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Out of the side, it says, my stepdaughter has endless Baby Yoda merch and has never once watched The Mandalorian.
This is Star Wars.
Well, I know
this is what I was talking about earlier.
Here's Duralta says, okay, Martin, I'm a Trekkie first and foremost, but I'm also a Star Wars fan, but I won't buy a Star Wars fan. And here's my figure. I have a friend that loves Star Wars and literally buys everything that is Star Wars. There you go. Let's see. Everybody's just reacting, and I've forgotten now what the let's see. Oh, Christoph says, I just ordered a Klingon mouse to have it signed by the same chancellors to match his Klingon keyboard. Okay, there you go. Bill says, Star Trek fans are just discriminating, not as discriminating. There are just less of them. Just as many people are turning up their noses at Star Wars merch, but the totals are higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just scale. Yeah.
There's also these are topics that are incredibly difficult to address. I try to be as diplomatic as possible. There are more Star Wars fans out there, Star Wars people out there with an extremely loose wallet than Star Trek people. It's the amount sometimes Star Wars people spend on merchandise is scary, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. It's really and there is also way more merchandise out there. That's another thing. And I do think I think actually we did the math back then when we had our when we got our Disney license. There are also more Star Wars fans in general.
Right.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what's good. So I said it.
1978 me would be shocked to know that 40 years later that Star Wars would be bigger than Star Trek, but because it started off with so much. I think about hours on screen for material, and I didn't realize that if you hurry up and sold tons of toys in the 80s, that would be long-term investment in fandom. Here's a thumbs up. Checked out the Cherry Tree site. Looks very good. We'll be getting something there soon. Yay.
Thank you. Actually, a new website. We launched it just a few weeks ago.
I thought that was a. Let's see. Yes, Jesse, Crusher Convo Podcast is an affiliate with Cherry Tree.
Yes,
absolutely adore their stuff. It's so different and creative. I have a board cat, for goodness. Why am I not surprised, Jesse? Why am I not surprised? For the layman, when I hear water cooled, I always say, damn, what happens if the water leaks?
So that's why they make AIOs. AIOs, they're all-in-one systems. We had in all the years never one that's leaking. It can happen, but it's incredibly rare. The custom water loops that we make, there are things how you can prevent that it happens. In the rare event it happens, those are usually really catastrophic failures. But I also have to say that most of the cases, it's actually user error when they build custom loops themselves. And there are so many things you have to take into account. It's like plumbing at your house. It's literally the same thing. It's when you do the plumbing yourself and you cannot solder properly and the solder breaks, you have a flooded living room. It's the same thing.
Read like the wind, Larry. I'm trying. Martin, we're like at an hour and 45, so I don't want to keep you too much longer.
Not a problem.
Hey, Phil. Oh, we're talking about catastrophes of keyboards and water and where you could fit a computer. Oh, here you go. Mona says she loves Boimler's eyes on the figure. Yeah. There you go. Put a lot of what was the so here's the thing. Just let's take the keycaps.
Mm-hmm.
What's the development time from the time somebody says, hey, let's do this, to the time you've got it ready to advertise and ship the first one?
That completely depends on the product. So the thing is, we are usually...
You think those were simple, but you just said you had to pioneer
the keycaps are far from simple. They're far from simple. Yeah. We are actually known with Paramount that we have an extremely fast prototype turnaround time. The thing is, the keycaps, however, I'm wondering, do I still have the original one, the original protos? Yeah, I have. Hold on, I show you the difference.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't even know where they are. Oh my God, I think we nailed them to a wall somewhere. Those
are priceless.
Yeah, we have them actually in a blister pack nailed against the wall. The problem with this in particular was that there was a lot of back and forth between Paramount and our 3D designer when we did this. And the first ones, so the tricky part with these is because they're so small, is when you print the first ones, and these are not 3D printed, but of course the samples were 3D printed.
Mm-hmm.
And when we printed the prototypes and we paint them and you see them like this, you're like, oh my God, this looks fantastic. This is great. When you take a picture of it and you zoom it up on like a 27 or 32-inch monitor, you see actually how renders they look. And these took us almost a year to complete. We have prototypes that we knocked out within days. I give you an example. When we came out with the Picard Cube, do you remember Veronica Hart from CBS Computer?
Oh, yes. Yes. She came in when the first split.
Yeah.
When the divorce happened in 05, 06. Yes.
And she gave me the okay for the Picard license while we were at a party of a friend that we had together, and she was sitting on the couch, I was sitting on the floor, and she was asking me, have you seen the Star Trek Picard trailer? And I'm like, no, because I was at the booth the whole time. And she was like, oh my God, then it gives me her phone and lets me look the trailer, and I see the Borg cube flying in, and I'm like, oh my God, the Borg cube, can I do it? And she's like, yeah, it's yours. We kept the license for you. It's completely yours. And this is how we made deals back then. And STLV was 1 week later. And I basically drove home like a maniac, stayed at the office for 16 hours, and we knocked the prototype out within 4 days for a computer case. And then brought it to Star Trek Las Vegas. And so, as I said, these things, it completely depends. Keyboard, for example. Yeah, Klingon keyboard took 3 to 4 months. And mainly because dealing with the gentleman from Klingon Language Institute was hilarious.
Lawrence? Dr. Schoen?
I think the main guy I talked to was Chris, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I need to look up the emails, but I was in an email chain where so on the Klingon keyboard, we have all these little buttons like delete and insert and home, caps lock, and all of these. These are all translated into Klingon, but they are not translated. They are just, they picked words that mean something. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't even remember what they did. I think tab is actually forward in Klingon or something like that. And I was in an email chain where they started to argue about this. And I came into the office every morning and I get new emails from the Klingon Language Institute. And it was like, I had my coffee and I was like, this is adorable. But yeah, that took 3 to 4 months. And then the problem was we had to prove to Paramount basically that there's no profanity on there. Larry.
Well, some of the best Klingon is profanity, but I
can tell you another story with this. So when we started the Picard cubes, we added a sweater to the PC case. Yeah, and it was a super gorgeous brown sweater that had the Pigsmith tarot cards on the back, the Romulan ones.
Oh, right.
Had a Romulan symbol on the front, and it said in Romulan on that the end of it, and on that it said the Destroyer. And we sent it to CBS. They looked at it, and 2 weeks later they came back and they said, we have a problem. And I'm like, okay, what's the problem? The Destroyer is fine. The end of it either means what you wrote on there means in Romulan either the end of it or in your end. And I'm like, okay, who's the authority on that? Who determines what it says? And they're like, we don't know. But we don't want it to say in your end in Romulan. And I'm like, I do get that. So we ended up writing it in English in a Romulan font.
Okay, that's the kind of thing you get into. That's the minutia. We need a DS9 shaped USB hub that has USB ports where the station has docking ports.
I know.
See, I love this. Yeah.
DS9, I would love to make one, but every time I'm like, yes, today I'm gonna make a DS9 product, I look at that station and I'm like, this is so complex. This is, I honestly, every licensee that has a Deep Space Nine model, I salute you guys. You're like, oh my God, this is
Just
so
the
good.
complexity and the detail and the texture and
It's so,
color and all
the
of
thing
that.
is, the simpler a shape is, the easier you can model it or mold it. Yeah, Deep Space Nine, for example, is a 2-part mold that comes apart like this, and DS9, you need to assemble that.
Oh, last year's FedCon, there was a trader selling your Klingon keyboards. Everyone who passed their table inquired about the keyboards.
That's Robert from That's Robert from Trade Post 47.
Yep, and good. Robert's one of my Portal 47ers, and he's off and on here. I haven't seen him today. Again, I'm trying to. Yeah, talking about the front end. They tried to say there was a hatch near the bottom or something. I know. There was, but it's still small. And there's Christoph's. Yeah, I don't know where Cairo is, where Robert is today. The Defiant shape would also work as a mouse, do you think?
Yes. I think so. It might actually. But we need to scale this up and see, because I don't know if you guys actually know that, but who remembers the old iMac, the first iMac in Bondi Blue that came out? It came with a really, really awkward mouse, and they called it the puck mouse. It was a completely round mouse.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it gave you cramps when you worked on it. It was literally like that. And I'm afraid this might actually do the same thing to you. So we would have to scale it up and try it. We might come out with the Tribble mouse finally this year.
What is the giraffe's name that is part? Okay, what?
Lauren.
What?
Lauren.
Okay.
Yeah, Lauren.
Is there a story behind Lauren the giraffe?
Yes. So Lauren is the company's mascot, and one of our first employees was a software developer. And everybody, when we got our first office, everybody decorated their offices. Yeah, this is, with a company like ours, we encourage creativity to the max. Yeah, and when I walked into Mike's office, it was always barren. It looked so sad. Yeah, and I told him, dude, if you don't decorate your office, you're gonna have a gigantic giraffe in it on Monday. And he started laughing. And I ordered on Amazon this really big plush giraffe and put it in the doorway. Yeah. And this was all when the company was formed and when we had our first offices. And we started to think, then we need an office email address, like office@mycherrytree or info@mycherrytree. And Mike called the giraffe Lauren. And it was actually Mike's idea to say, why are we not using Lauren@mycherrytree for the office email address? So we started doing this. And this got a little bit out of hand, because out of a sudden, Lauren had a Facebook account. And out of a sudden, people, because we responded from the Lauren at CherryTree's.com, and we got reviews where people said that Lauren is so nice on email. And then people called us, said they spoke to Lauren, and we didn't want to tell people that they did not speak to Lauren because she cannot talk. And over the years, it completely got a life on its own. And yeah.
That's hysterical. Okay, so there you go. But see, that's the fun thing about having your own company and having back to the business science here, the business college. Do you have insurance, or is there no insurance? You have no, if you don't work out.
No,
is there such a thing?
There's no insurance. There's no insurance.
Yeah.
The only insurance that you have when you do something like this is planning. And so here's one thing. I give you an example, the keycaps. Yeah, I do not consider the keycaps a failed product. because of course they cost money to develop and so on, but we now have, and we don't have that many. We have like 500 of each, and they're not crazy expensive. But the thing is, we have a product that we can take to conventions, make special pricing. You have a product that's so cute that when you talk to a customer and he buys a lot, you can actually say, hey, here you have one. So I try to avoid products that cost us an arm and a leg in development. This is really bad. If you have a product that you can make reasonably priced, can manufacture reasonably priced, and the first amount you order, the first quantity you order of that product is not incredibly high, you're not going to run into problems. It's not going to be that bad.
There you go. Yeah. What no one has sold before.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Martin, have you done anything with the MCU?
No.
I would say, or do you care?
No. But this is a little bit a longer thing. It's so I know a lot of people that work on the MCU actually, and worked on several movies there, and I've been encouraged by a lot of people there actually to start doing something. But just to give you an idea how complex that whole licensing situation is, I do not want to deal with Disney. Marvel is Disney. This goes so far. One of our shareholders is friends with Kevin Feige. Even Kevin cannot do anything about this. We tried. Because I was actually asked, so one of our idea was that we make a computer that looks like Thor's hammer and all of these things. Yeah, we had all great ideas. The problem is it all boils down Disney licensing, and they tell you $200,000. And I'm like, I'm not paying you $200,000 for one product. It's they don't let you start. You know what I mean? They want you to jump in the pool. That comes back to the risk question. This is stupid.
They don't have an entry level. They don't have a starter home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would love to, but at the moment it's just too risky.
Late to the party today, but I'm thrilled to go back and listen from the beginning. Fascinating topic. I've always wondered how all this works. Well, we didn't start out that way, but we've turned into a seminar. We turned into a webinar on on licensed product manufacturing here, Martin. Yeah, you also have to figure a break-even point for products, right? We had that in business economics, and for me, it was hard to understand. Yeah.
But there's also, I have to say one thing, you also have products that can drag another product with it. So basically what you can have if you have, because you need to look at the company as a whole. Yeah. And when you have one product that fails a little bit, you can have one product that does extremely well and make up for the. This is exactly how movies are produced. Out of 10 movies that are made, usually what's the rate on that? Usually 2 are blockbusters.
Yeah.
5 are not even remotely make their money back, and 3 break even or something like this.
Yeah,
and with products, it's a little bit better, but it's the same gamble basically.
Yes. Well, I think we bypassed this one. He's saying you got Klingon, you got bored. How about Roth? Well, you were talking about the Romulan t-shirt, so I think we answered that one.
So our plan is that we do Romulan and Vulcan. The only problem is every time I started discussing this with somebody at Paramount, a merger happened and I got a new person. And my problem with this is there is a Klingon Language Institute, but I don't think there's a Romulan Language Institute, and I don't think there's a Vulcan Language Institute.
They had it now, didn't they have a Romulan? Didn't Lower Decks have accredited Romulan language?
I don't know.
Person? I think the later shows that needed one that leaned into and cared, like Lower Decks. I think they had a. Anyway, there might be somebody, but yeah. This is a good point, Sean. On a smaller scale, the Star Trek version of Grogu, Moopsie, wasn't for sale officially for 2 years after the episode came out. And people were making homemade moopsies and.
Sorry. Moopsie is the.
Oh, I have an Etsy 3D printed. Moopsie this is Lower Decks. Moopsie was they look like they're cute like tribbles, except that they bite you and they drink your bones.
I've seen a guy at the convention have one in a glass cage.
And the whole thing is they go Moopsie, and that's why they're called Moopsies. But it comes totally out of a Lower Decks, was an instant hit. Everybody wanted a Moopsie, and they're goofy because they run around, look cute like a tribble, but if they get you, they bite you and instantly suck out all your innards and they say a Moopsie drinks your bones. That's what it liquefies you. And yeah, so they're a horrible predator that has to be, even though they look so cute.
That's adorable.
And I can't believe I got to school you on something, Martin. That's the one Lower Decks maybe you missed. Anyway, see, I got to get so yeah, here we go. We got to get Cherry Tree in with a Moopsie product. You'd sell if you could find something, you'd sell. They would sell. I think everybody in the chat would agree with me. Martin and Larry, it's an awesome duo. Okay, yes. If you ever do a panel at Vegas, Martin, have me be your moderator.
The thing is, so we had one in 2018, but the one thing that I was actually thinking about actually pitching to the guys from Creation, why not make a panel about licensing?
Like we're a little bit like what we're doing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me.
You know what we can do actually with the Moopsie? What do you think about a lamp? Like a night lamp, like we do with the cats. Or it's basically imagine just printing him or making him in white and have an LED light.
You have lamps that have audio. I think if you have a push button to turn it on off, and every time you hit the push button, the lamp says "Oopsie." I mean, I'm serious. That's half of it. And I don't have my product brain on often, but I don't know what anybody else in the chat thinks. But I think if you had a lamp and you turned on the Moopsie lamp and it went Moopsie when you hit the button,
that's a good idea.
That's pretty simple. This is hysterical. It feels like Trek was late to the party, but Trek was the boom that got George his financing to get his movie made.
Yes.
Because Star Trek was 73, 74, 75, 76.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek wrote the paradigm, and then Star Wars took it, and which people, the young kids don't know that now, but yeah. Does it make sense to come up with merchandise on a relatively dead franchise that might get revived in relative near future?
Yes. Yes.
He says Orion. Is that the German?
That rings a bell. But I cannot put my finger on it. The one thing is, so this makes total sense because one of the things we were actually thinking, and it might be unfortunately a little bit more expensive now, is also doing Stargate.
If it was Chris at the Klingon language, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes. There's the KLI has been there for 30 or 40 years since Mark Okren started since the late 80s, at least, I would say. Yeah. Yes. Lawrence Schoen might have retired. It's been so long. Okay, I'm trying to get us wrapped. If we need to let you go, we'll let you go, Martin.
No, it's fine. I have time the whole afternoon.
Well, I have to get to the post office. No. Let's see. Everybody's thumbsing up on the a USB hub. Oh, what about a Station K7 for a USB hub?
That's true.
Far simpler texture. Let's see. A Tribble mouse?
Yes. And it was one of those things. So it started off as an April Fool's gag last year, and it looks really horrendous. It's a mouse. We have the prototype for it and everything.
Is it molded and can't really be shaggy, Harry?
No, it's a hair. It's full blown. It's like a tribble. It's like you got a tribble. So imagine. So the way we did this, we bought a tribble from Miles, from the tribble guy, and then we gutted it. We literally cut it open and we put it over the mouse and glued it on. And then we looked at it, and 50% of people said it's awful. 50% of people say I absolutely love it and I must have it. And it's the weirdest haptic you can imagine. You have literally a mouse under a tribble. And what makes this... Do you have 5 minutes?
Okay.
More? Okay.
Yeah.
Give me 1 minute. I grab the mouse. I'll show you what I mean. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. I don't know. What's going to be the video viewing retention on YouTube for this one today? I don't know. Lauren could have an AI voice. Yes, could be. So we caught up with the Lauren era here on Trek. Okay. Oh, the Lauren situation is like the Santa Claus situation with NORAD. Right, telling the story. Oh, some folks at KLI speak Romulan and Andorian. Andorian, yeah, of course. The modern era shows has developed languages beyond Klingon and Vulcan.
Okay. Got the tribble mouse.
Okay.
Okay.
Somebody, while you were gone, I'm catching up. Somebody said some people at KLI can speak Romulan and Andorian.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
So the problem with the tribble mouse is the scroll wheel.
Oh, it gets hung up?
No, not really, but you basically... I'm not sure I can do this on live TV. So this is basically the tribble mouse, and you hold it
like a mouse.
You hold it like this,
It's not like
and you can actually hear the buttons. But where it gets really stupid is when you need the scroll wheel.
I'm a Mac guy, and I've never messed with buttons. But
so this is when we had this at the convention, and people were standing at the you get my point. So this is where we had 50% of people are like,
you just need to do no button mice. See?
Yeah, but I'm actually thinking of doing it because it's so funny. It's so hilarious.
What if you just sold the tribble with an elastic band and it just made it so that people...
we're thinking about, so you have to make this removable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things. So we think about Velcro.
Yeah.
And it needs to be in a way that people can actually wash it. Because the weird thing about this is, as a mouse, it feels incredibly nice. I tried this for a whole day, and it feels incredibly nice.
Hand therapy.
Yeah, because it also shapes really nicely into the hand. So, yeah.
Mona says, my Moopsie is from Starbase Indy. That is true. Why Hello Elsie says, my kids are still asking for a Moopsie. Yes. Doralta says, if you ever have a panel at FedCon, take Larry with you. I'll take that. If Dirk's too cheap. Here's Jesse. Moopsie will sell. Yeah. I have my official Moopsie plush right next to me. I want Murph stuff too. Yeah. Murph from Prodigy. Let's see. Okay. Lawrence still goes to KLI events. That's good. Okay. The end of the chat as we know it. Mona says it's awful. Joel says triple mice with Doritos stuck in the hair. Doralta says it looks amazing. What about bringing in the Horta as a mouse?
Yeah, and every time you move it, it's like pain.
Why Hello Elsie loves the triple mouse. I'm so excited. Like you got mostly thumbs up here. That looks awesome. No, really, that triple mouse looks fun. Very flauschig. What is flauschig?
It means fluffy.
Concetta is saying, don't do it, Mark. came out from under the handle.
Yeah, she was actually the one. Concetta was actually one of the ones when we made this. She didn't even want to post it. She literally was like, "Oh my god, you can't."
Are we? If you want to call it a tribble, you could call it a Shatner hairpiece mouse. Yeah, someone looks like somebody's scalp, Mr. Shatner. Oh, see, you're awful cute. From Dave. Let's see. Let's see. The way Martin pats the tribble, it has something of Blofeld. Let's see. This has just gone off the rails here. You're gonna know you got to translate the craft work here from Melanie. Yeah, the tribble mouse would have to be washable. Yeah, the Horta mouse would say no kill eye. Christoph's trying to get us off stage. He's the orchestra. He's the band trying to play us off here. Oh, then yes, you have to have official tribble shampoo and conditioner.
Oh, and we could pull an apple and sell that for like $1,000.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, like O'Brien's coolant grease or whatever that was. And Elsie loves your maniacal laugh. There you go. There you go. Yes, thank you, Christoph. Everybody likes, subscribe, spread the word, check your sources, Trekwell for me, but also everything at Cherry. Is it My Cherry Tree? Is that the consistent handle through everything?
No, that's the URL, mycherrytree.com, and company name is just CherryTree.
Okay. I am trying to get this off. Listen, Martin, we've kept you over time, but this has been a lot of fun. A lot of people learned a lot of things, including me. So it's always good to hear from you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for these. I'm going to get one set up so it's in my background now, and we'll click it on. But so do you do any cons besides Trek Vegas?
No.
Okay.
It's mostly because of the distance. Because Las Vegas, we can our stuff is extremely heavy to ship, and because of the computers and the shirts and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And we would love to do other things, but honestly, Trek Vegas is simply it's the best for us.
Well, if you're not going to go do those other franchises, that totally makes sense. You fanboy, you. All right. Listen, thank you so much for joining us, man. I think
thanks for having me again.
Yes, and thanks everybody in the chat. And I'll let you go. You don't have to sit here through the end game, but just click off if you want to. Otherwise, I'm going to do all my thank yous and get out of here. But this has been an awesome day. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was great.
I look forward to seeing you at Vegas, if nothing else.
Sure, we will.
All right, everybody. Martin of Cherry Tree, mycherrytree.com at the website and all the socials. Make sure and follow them. See what might get out there before Vegas time. And the thing I want to do first off is thank all the folks who are, let me, you don't need to share screen. Anyway, thanks again, Martin. Hey, everybody. Yes, a quick thank you to all of my TTLers. I haven't updated it yet, Elizabeth. I know you're on here, so I'm going to shout you out as a live wire. But hey, thank you, TTLers. Chuck A., James Kerwin, Diana Hopkins, Halbert Gunyonson, Lawrence Todd, Chris Jiggins, Mitch Keith Rombach. What? I'm verklempt. That was too much fun. Hey, it's JR. What is wrong with me? JR Poole, Pranakasha Productions, Comedy Forecast, Andrew Jasimski, and our live wires. I'll say, Elizabeth, you're in here too. But hey, Joshua Reeve, Gary Williams, Robert McLean, Byron Bailey, David Gall, MJ Frug, Chris Garris, Brendan Coles, Dave Gregory, Jesse at Crusher Convo, Donna S. Runyon, and Casey Shafsky. Once again, very easy to get on my very simple patreon.com. It's just $5 and $10 a month. The shout outs, and yes, I know, sharing. I'm catching up. I'm getting stuff done from February. Yay. I'm going to get these sent to all of our live wires. Thank you all so very much. That's basically how everything online Trekland is financed, monetized. It's highest time for Trek Files. We're in between seasons 14 and 15. We're getting season 15 recorded. We're going to have some in the can before we start. It'll be potentially May before we're back for season 15, but we are back. You can catch all the seasons, though, at podcast.roddenberry.com. Don't forget, aside from thetrekfiles.com is our main site on Memory Alpha, you can join the Patreon for Roddenberry and get access to all the disco boards, the communities around all the shows, and that includes the Trekophiles community. Yes, Trekophiles spelled with an F. It's there, too. One more shout out. If you're thinking about really going big to celebrate the 60th and you're watching this at any time, this is the last month. May 1st is the cutoff for Exploring Trek Sites Hollywood to STLV. It's the 5 days of 6 before Vegas. We're doing a 1-day trip to Valley of Fire where Kirk died on Viridian 3, actually an hour up the 15 from Vegas. We've done that several times in the past. That's the day before. That's Tuesday. The big tour is the 5 days prior to that. We get you to Vegas. GeekNationTours.com has all the info. If you want to try to do the QR there, you can. But hey, this year we're adding Armin and Tim and Sirach, and Bobby is back with us to talk all things shooting arena, which was only one of about 8 things Star Trek has used Vasquez Rocks for. We get into all that. If you're just looking for a day trip, don't forget TreklandTreks.com. If you've got a spare day in Los Angeles, somewhere in SoCal, and you want to set something up in advance, Dr. Trek would be happy to concierge, drive, pick you up, be your cosplay wrangler, and the whole bit. And, of course, the socials are at Larry, at TwitterX, and Blue Sky. It's also Larry's Trekland on Instagram, on Facebook still. And portal47.net if you want to have a backstage pass all year long with no post-con blues, because we're here all year long. Your backstage pass to more in-depth Trek. All the Star Trek that you had no idea about. Backstage folks are the key. And that includes the business side of Trek at times. There, we just had this awesome visit with Martin. Go check out everything at Cherry Tree. You see what kind of a company and what heart they're bringing to the merch. We need 10 or 20 more Martins out there. We've got some. We mentioned some of them, but he's great. Otherwise, gang, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, so much for being with us. We'll see you next Tuesday. I don't have a guest yet. It may just be back to topics. I want to say, go Artemis, go. It's been awesome to have some future moving space, science, exploration, excitement, and sanity. See what the rational mind can do when we put it to work and we work as a team on so many levels. The crew team, so many firsts, so many historic firsts they're making, but also the great team behind them. And in a time when the world is crazy, we gather in our Star Trek Enclave, not so much for escapism, I think, but for a sanity check, yes, and a recharge. To go back out into that world of crazy until we can wrangle it back, till we can get the moopsie back in the cage. Boy. And in that spirit, gang, thanks for joining me so much. Thanks for supporting everything at Trekland. Look over, make sure that you, for sure, if you haven't already, subscribed, ring the bell, do all the things for my YouTube channel, especially here in between Fresh Treks. Don't have a date yet, but Cadet Alice and Dr. Trek Watch Prodigy, I know season 2 has been out. I know that you can't watch it streaming. You can get discs. You can catch it on some of the commercial pay channels or buy it digitally right now. But if you've got your discs, we are going to be back with season 2 and some other surprises for the future with Cadet Alice. That's coming too. Saying all that, gang, thanks again for joining us. Check out everything that Martin does over at Cherry Tree, mycherrytree.com. Look for him at Vegas if you're headed that way. And please, there's rumblings of bugs out there. So, stay healthy, do all the things. And boy, stay awoke. Check the sources. And trek well, everybody.